the anime hero or the manly anime hero.
Well, hello there, I'm Taff.
Alright. Let's see. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, DeathBattle, the whole Jotaro versus Kenshiro. So,
oh no, not DeathBattle. I don't like DeathBattle. I like the animation, but not DeathBattle. I don't like looking at videos. I don't like I don't like videos. I don't like you. I don't like me.
My gosh.
I don't like Jotaro being on the Kenshiro side. I don't like him punching him.
Oh.
Why can't we be friends? Why have to be death?
Well, we saw...
Just have like friendship come up, like from Mortal Kombat or something.
Friendship. No, but ever since Super Smash Bros. 64 commercial, you know, we can't all be friends. We all gotta fight. But this relates to...
Mortal Kombat said so. Come on.
Yeah, what, we want a babality of Ken and Joe. Jojo.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Joseph? Alright, you can kill him. I mean,
what?
he did cheat on his wife, so...
Oh god.
Screw him.
Oh. Jeez. You know, this is not going well for people just joining in randomly on the conversation. Because, well, we're gonna be, I guess, as seriously as we can talk about Fist of North Star and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, since we've been familiar with the series since... I don't know. Me, in my case, was like 2011, I guess. But I don't know about you.
I think 12. So because I mean the first series I watched / read is JoJo Bizarre Adventure and Kenshiro. I mean, what did I say? Kenshiro. It's basically Kenshiro's story, but it's from Hokuto no Ken, or as you want to call it, Fist of North Star, like the 5 first things I read. But anyway, let's go on with the DeathBattle. Still do not like it. I want my two boys to be friends, not killing each other. It won't help the world.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little brutal seeing Kenshiro just kill, like, you know, Jotaro for no good reason.
Yeah, I mean, he just killed a minor dude.
Yeah,
Kenshiro's still 17.
You mean Jotaro was still 17? Jeez.
I mean,
you're even getting them
40.
Yeah, you know, they messed up there. Like they used his like what were we using his part 4 age or what, or it's part 6 age? I don't remember, because I can never remember their ages in any of the parts. Like Joseph, like with Joseph especially, I always gotta look that up. It's like I have no idea how old you're supposed to be, dude.
I think it's almost like, I don't know, what was it, like a 10-year skip between part 3 and part 4?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was more, because when Yosuke was a baby back then in part 3, now he's like 18 or...
Well, I guess. Well, we're not here to talk about ages, man. We're not here...
No ages. No ages. Let's just talk about DeathBattle, how they misinterpreted our boys.
Yeah, what he said was oh my god, I messed up the word myself. Misinterpreted the characters because okay, so
let's get serious.
Okay, so the reason why I wasn't too excited about the announcement of this DeathBattle was mostly because it was the reception of the characters, and DeathBattle hasn't exactly been known for being 100% accurate all the time, and I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it in the terms of the character biographies for both sides, because especially with Jotaro, there was hardly much to talk about, and I know obviously with DeathBattle they need to emphasize more about their abilities, powers, and strengths. I get that, but I really felt a little more of a character breakdown would have been helpful. No, with Kenshiro, they just kind of explain the more surface level that most people know about him for, but I do appreciate the fact that they actually use some of the more modern animation for him, because for the most part everyone just uses like the first 5 episodes or something.
Yeah.
Or the movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's also very problem, because I just feel like when we're gonna make it like a versus battle, I think you have to at least know the both series by hand, or because it's a big question. You have 2 characters from different series, and you're gonna fight it out. So you're gonna have to have more information about each one to make a fair death battle.
Yeah, you gotta
even an exciting one.
Yeah, you gotta be personal and intimate and all that stuff. But the thing is, like, even the fight itself, I wasn't like too excited the way Kenshiro was fighting with the Mirages, which, you know, that's not exactly how he fights. But also the what was something else that bothered me in that fight? Well, personally, I found their 1 minute melee to be a lot more exciting than this one.
Yeah, I mean, they even used better sprite on that one. I mean, because it feel like they fully utilized it, and of course they had like a big punch out at the end instead of in the beginning in this death battle.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you have that punch out building up to something. Like you have something build up, then you have the punch out, and not just have it just seconds after the fight have started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because generally I think it's the pacing of the previous death battle was. No, I mean the 1 minute melee, not. You can still call it death battle because it's still a death and a battle. So they think had better choreography, better like sprite uses. Because we gotta talk about Misole Tensei later because they really dropped the ball on that one. But the better choreography, better sprite use, and generally better animation, I think.
Yeah, because even
more
the
excited about that 1 minute melee than this battle. Sorry. I
yeah.
mean, then one that's supposed to have more effort into it.
Mm-hmm. Because there were a lot of questionable things. Well, the end result is that Kenshiro will more than likely win, like more than anybody. Like he has a higher chance of doing it. But even as objectively, I don't feel they really covered Jotaro that well. And then with Kenshiro, it's sort of like, well, he is overpowered as hell, but they don't necessarily dive in what really makes him more overpowered than the obvious, making him explode. Because Mr. North Star is just designed to be the most unbeatable martial art in existence, which is why there can only be one successor in generation. Also, the fact that the martial art is over 1800 years old. So, and there has been 64 masters thus far. And the ones that have done the most damage that we know of are the 62nd, 63rd, because Ryuken was able to beat Raoh pretty easily until him being sick. And
he got this sick.
Yeah, then 64 became, and then 64 became.
What happened?
No, I thought.
Where do you go? I can't hear you.
Well, it's because it sounded like you want to say something, so I just stopped.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, I mean, basically that's the same. I did forget about to mention Ryuken in my video about power scaling, but I think it was kind of hard to put him at anywhere because it was basically Raoh before the series, and
yeah,
like he was still power enough to beat him, but he still got sick and got destroyed. So, but still, like Ryuken was powerful. Previous successor like Kensumi Kenshiro and Kenshiro himself, like.
Yeah, well, to elaborate... we gotta elaborate on these things in case anyone else watching for the first time, is that, well, Kazumi Kenshiro is Kenshiro's uncle, and he's the main character of Fist of the Blue Sky. Whether they're blood-related or not, I don't know, but the point is that Kazumi has kind of shown to be, possibly might be the stronger character, but at the same time, it's a little weird because it's a prequel series that was made after... a couple of like a decade or two after they made Fist of the North Star, so they sort of refined especially their martial arts background when they were drawing these fights. So it's something about Blue Sky just feels more perfected in terms of combat in contrast to North Star, where it's mostly the fights were a little odd in North Star in general.
I do agree with you on this that in the Fist of Blue Sky the battle are more like bigger. They are so much bigger than in Fist of North Star. Like Fist of North Star could have a battle like in like almost an empty room, and it could be like that, and just like nothing is destroyed. But here, Fist of Blue Sky just destroyed the entire room, like even just in an afterthought. But I still think that Raoh said that in a battle, like in the second battle, like Kenshiro has become like the strongest man of Hokuto, just at that point. And of course, this is before Ryuken was like Hokuto Ryuken was introduced, but
yeah,
I still think that
there's a lot of
just because of that one line, it's kind of saving from Fist of the North Star looking less impressive in theory than Fist of the Blue Sky. When it comes to visual, Fist of Blue Sky just blows it out of water.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird, well, not weird, a lot more intricate things in the Blue Sky. Because, for example, well, a lot of these things are shown in the CGI pachinko fights. Like, for example, when Kazumi...
Don't say pachinko.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, so Kazumi Kenshiro, like one example is when the characters jump in Blue Sky, they always leave like an imprint of their feet, like on the ground itself or whatever they're clinging onto. Or sometimes you would see like an imprint on their fist would be like left on like metal and all this stuff. So that was like pretty cool. And one of the early fights of Blue Sky when Kazumi Kenshiro's fighting this other Hokuto user, that they actually break their arms in mid-combat, which is kind of surprising. It's like they hit each other so hard, they both broke their arms.
Oh shit. Yeah, like the final battle of the original Fist of the Blue Sky, like that was the most hyped thing ever.
Yeah.
Like they just suddenly just jump up in the sky and then like in the white space. I don't remember what the technique was, but holy man.
Well, I mean, you know something's up when a fucking dragon's telling other people, no, only these two can fight, no one else can watch. It is a world just for them, and then you get that goddess, which I don't remember what the name of that goddess statue that shows up in Blue Sky. That, you know, she kind of stopped the fight also, if I remember correctly. I don't remember.
I mean, there was so much in stake there, like not only are they these two battle to their death, not only is like a super tornado going around, not only is a dragon coming out, but then like one of the women who were watching, like if my man does not win, I will kill myself. Like holy shit, the stakes are so much higher right now.
Yeah, well the thing is though, to return this back to the whole death battle thing, is that some of the people are a little iffy about the choices they use because they for both Jotaro and Kenshiro, they were using a lot of non-canon material, stuff that's specifically from movies or OVAs, especially with North Star, because they actually could have. I'm surprised it didn't go all the way with the movie, because the most part with the film, they just relied on the whole building falling on Kenshiro and all that. But the thing is, what they also could have used if they were going to use the movie was the fight against Raoh, because that was like the first time ever that I recall in animation that the fights got so grand that tornadoes started happening and, you know, rocks were starting to float in the air because of their ki energy. And, you know, even people were getting lifted into the air.
I mean, that was like really intense battle there, guys. Like, maybe you want to cool it off? I mean, people are dying left and right.
Yeah, I'm surprised people just don't explode just for being in that area, you know?
They're like, whoa. Like, they're just like lifting the sky up the aura, then just dropped on the ground. Like, even the cross that Yura was on just dropped on like 3 guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, let's talk about Death Battle again. Is that I don't like how they used the filler, like OVA, like non-canon material to define their strength. Like, oh, Jotaro, like Star Platinum just throw this building at him, and Kenshiro just easily just punch this building out. Like, dude, you have to do more reason than that. Like, it's actually as I said, like they are not going by like using footage of 3 episodes, but then again they are using just very basic, like first thing, like source material just to define the character's strength, which kind of is like kind of go against research when you have like an entire community, an entire section just for Fist of North Star feats, where they display all the characterization and what they can do, what they are, how they are in battle, and it just feel like they are not doing research very well. And just one thing I want to mention is that they said that Jotaro's what was it, like his destruction capability was like 3 million tons or something.
Because I've been finding some videos that have been debunking the whole diamond stuff, because supposedly all their diamond stuff that they mentioned in their video was very inaccurate, that some diamonds could actually be very easily breakable, and we haven't encountered like any real diamond that's like as big as a High Priestess. That, also the words hard and thick were pretty different in terms of scientific explanation, so basically we don't know for sure how strong Star Platinum is, but you know, I mean, let's put it this way, he's strong enough to at least punch through a person's torso. I think that's kind of important.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, with Dio Brando, yeah, because most of the JoJo characters are still human, by the way, even the vampire ones could still be killed via weaponry. Like the only reason Straits didn't die as already with Joseph throwing all those grenades is because of regeneration. If there was no regeneration, the vampire would have probably died with just like 1 or 2 grenades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, back to the topic. Like, okay, so we have Star Platinum having like 3 million tons or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's very close to light speed, and then here we have Kenshiro, who is just 1,000 in destruction capability and just very much slower. So I don't know why people think that. I don't know what they're thinking here. Like, you have they explain why a character who's much stronger, much faster, still loses to a guy who is slower and even less powerful. I mean, if you were like, I just seen their own calculation, their own estimate. Like, how exactly is this guy who is thousands of times weaker is just won against a guy like Jotaro? Like, that's just in their own estimate again. I'm not saying that it's the official one, just that how did they think that it would be worked out like that?
Well, the only reason they were going with that is that Kenshiro with the whole, Hokuto Shinken, one touch is enough, but they never really specify. Well, let me rephrase that. It goes back to this whole building stuff, because they were using that as a defense for. Well, basically, I think what you're trying to get is that it's inconsistent. What they were saying, that how can the person, how could the person who took all the building on him lose to the guy that should have the strength to do the same amount of damage as the building? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, like he had again 3 million versus 1,000. Basically, this is a guy who caused buildings, and it's just so different in powers when you're just running up the numbers in tons or something.
Yeah. Well, the reason I don't want to talk about that portion is because I don't know anything about diamonds and how everything works, but because I have found some videos that go more elaborate detail about that, because even I think either yesterday or today there was a debunk video of the whole battle.
Oh, you mean the Seth the programmer?
Yeah, that one, because I was just skimming through that. I didn't watch the whole thing, but he kind of displayed that the end result was that Kenshiro should win, but at the same time, since he can't really hit Star Platinum, that's the only thing that's really stopping him. Well, then again, he can still hit Jotaro, so there's still chances of Kenshiro winning that way. But but anyways, where was I going with this with Jotaro? Well, here's one odd thing that I found during their achievements, whatever. That on Kenshiro's side, they put a character that he defeated Raoh and Kaio and Sounder, but then they threw one name that I was like, who's that character? I really couldn't remember.
How dare you say that to Nagato? Do you know what he did for us? He had an entire episode arc. He was this guy who, sort of a guard to Hio, and he did stuff, and then he died. He just hauled him head captain and just hailed at him. He wasn't an important character at all. He definitely needs to be next to Raoh or something. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Raoh. They misspelled Raoh's name there, but
oh, they did.
Maybe not meaning Raoh. Maybe Raoh. Maybe another character we have sinfully forgot about.
Yeah. So
I just. They have not proof checked that.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, where did that Nagato name come from? Because I even me, I've been a fan for 8 years now, I think. Oh shit, that is a long time. So I'm thinking who the hell is Nagato? I had to look him up, check it, thinking okay, he was in Fist of North Star too. But then I'm thinking, was he in the manga? Because I know he was in the anime, but I don't remember if he was was he a canon character? Or you're I don't remember. Well, then again, my knowledge of Part 2 is non-existent. I don't remember anything from the manga version of that. Since, the manga of Part 2 is very different, but I don't know if it's makes it better or not. But I would have been more happier if it said Shin, I guess.
Shin was a big guy.
Yeah, Shin's a big deal.
Defeat Kenshiro. Oh hell, Mr. Hart. Mr. Hart used to be a tough motherfucker. He's popular too. So why not him?
Yeah,
fat people now?
Yeah, man, come on. Shu wasn't in the game, but Mr. Hart was,
At least Mr. Hart had a battle, no?
Yeah.
Nagato did nothing.
Oh yeah, was he even killed by Ken? I don't even remember what happened to that fucking dude.
I only remember him because he was just like howled and his head went off. That's the only remember thing sorry about. Okay, I'm gonna first of all gonna say sorry to everyone who liked Nagato in the series. Maybe he's your favorite character, but we don't see him as important to the story as whole. He was basically died as a bitch. He's a manly man in your heart, yes, but we do not see him as higher stuff than Jagi.
Yeah.
Also, Jagi solos.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, Jagi, like we all make fun of him from time to time, but Jagi actually is important to like Kenshiro's origin more than anything. He's probably done the most damage than any other character if you think about it. If you think about it, Jagi's like he done more shit than any other villain in the series.
Like, yeah, that's why he's like, I don't know,
it's
third favorite villain from Fist of the North Star.
Well, it's just so weird how yeah, but it's just so weird how Jagi just get neglected and ignored as the years keep going. But he's like, but I'm like the one that messed Ken up the most. Like,
also, they did forget to use Yagi's feet. I mean, they say like, alright, Kenshiro can punch 500 punchers in 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, Jagi could punch thousands in just less than 1. Hello?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, there is like, if you look at Kenshiro's character profile, like on a wiki page, there actually is a list of random facts about Ken from a certain guidebook. So I think that's where they got the punching thing, but they could also done like some other random stuff about like, yeah, he doesn't have to eat for like about a month or something. I forgot how many months he said that he only needs like a drop of water.
Longer than both of us.
Yeah,
combined.
Yeah. So I don't know what's up with. Yeah, Hokuto Shinken just like comes with so many benefits. It's like,
oh gee.
Well,
I mean, okay, so what I'm gonna say that all about the guys you were talking about, those are important, yes, but they should only serve as default settings when it comes to like when it's nothing else you're gonna add in. So, for example, like, oh, like Kenshiro likes this food, but then later on he's like, oh, he also likes this, so we should just add it in. Because that's why I think default, but not the final say. Because that guide came around like when the first half of Hokuto no Ken was around. So, and I don't think it was at the end either. So it was like middle of the middle. So that wouldn't really be like accurate for Kenshiro at the end of Hokuto no Ken 2 at least.
Well, yeah, that's the problem also with Shonen is that they don't stay like in one spot for too long. Like the levels keep increasing. I mean, the best example of Fist of North Star about that power-ups and all that was with the whole Toki versus Raoh, the first one, because Kenshiro was gonna fight Raoh. Raoh's telling him like, yeah, you can't beat me, Ken. Why? And like, yes, I can. And then gets taken down and gets saved by an arrow to the knee when Ray shot him. So Toki comes around. Kenshiro clearly lost right there to Raoh. Toki like stops him from moving. Then when Toki's about to die, Ken breaks out of it, and then Toki... I remember even Bat and Ray were saying... One of those two characters was saying, but earlier you said Kenshiro couldn't beat him. Well, yeah, but now he can.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of is something I'd be wondering about. The only thing I could say about that is that Raoh lost a lot of blood, so that's why Kenshiro could almost beat him in...
Like, well, yeah, technically Raoh was fighting Toki already, so Kenshiro just like stepped in, tag team match.
Yeah, that's the thing. Hokuto no Ken tag team.
Yeah,
why can't we have that anymore? I can't beat him with pressure point. Oh, come on, come over here. Take over me.
Yeah.
I don't know, like King Command almost.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so that's what. Well, the thing is, even with JoJo, I wrote this down earlier, so maybe I'll read from what I wrote. That yeah, let me read this out loud. In the case of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I never get into speculations determining who's stronger than who or which is the most powerful stand, because JoJo often relies on its own location, strategy, weaponry, and something unexpected. For example, in Phantom Blood, would Jonathan beat Dio if he didn't have the Sword of Luck and Pluck? Or what if Dyer never hit deal with the roles? Would Jonathan think of that during his battle? What if Stroheim didn't show up to help Joseph? What if Cars didn't cheat in his fight with Lisa? What if Jotaro never picked up those books and magazines?
Yeah, I mean,
what if Endo wasn't blind, or stuff like that. And then there's a lot of circumstances that can alter a JoJo fight to anyone's favor. Possibly the best event to prove this is the defeat of Yoshikage Kira, which occurred by pure ironic accident, not necessarily strengths or wits.
I mean, that's why we like JoJo, because those chaos theory factors, we didn't expect this part, but we still like the character adapting to the situation, using the environment to do stuff, and that's why it's a big disappointment when we start the battle, we see them in the desert, in the open area. I mean, come on, man, you just put them in the city and see how Jotaro protects himself with the cars or something.
He could have used the sand. He could have thrown this. He could have actually. One thing I'm surprised they didn't bring up with Star Platinum.
Yeah.
No. They didn't bring up the fact that he has such sucking strength that he could absorb a stand into his body. You never know. Maybe he could have done a sand typhoon or something. I don't know.
Well, you gotta have some. I don't know. Do we have a smoke person? We can have used Jotaro for oh, you can't hit me. Then he started sucking me in.
Well, the thing is, Jotaro wasn't doing much himself. It was just Star Platinum doing all the work, and I felt Jotaro would have been more engaged about how to go against Kenshiro if he, figured out a little bit about him. You never know. Maybe he could have used the desert, maybe he could have found a way to somehow make quicksand, if that makes any difference. I don't know.
I don't know, because I just feel like we're just watching two brutes watching this, not the expert strategist and expert martial artist. Just two brutes with different power, just punching it out. Which again, I mean, if we had if I made a battle, I'd probably made that Jotaro would probably be punching Kenshiro first with Star Platinum because Kenshiro can't see it. But as the battle goes on, Kenshiro gets more upper hand and Jotaro is more pushed to the corner and he's suddenly using time stop just to avoid. And which again pisses me off because Jotaro uses time stop immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, it's okay if you want to show his dominance, but not show his trump card right at the beginning.
Yeah, that's something he uses last second for reserve, because normally he could just take people down just with Star Platinum. There's no need for the time stop. So I feel that should have definitely been more of a backup plan, or start using that as a defensive measure rather than offensive.
Yeah, and okay, one more thing also about what was it? I'm not remembering this battle. It just sucked so hard. I don't remember. It was not my boys. It was not them. It was two sprites that looked like them, in that Saitama versus Kenshiro fight.
Oh yeah, those were terrible.
That's the funny part, is that you have the model of the Musou games, which looks great, but you don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
They use this customized crab thing, and Kenshiro can hit pressure point on robots? Hello? Kenshiro 2 OP?
Oh yeah, actually that brings me back to the non-canon stuff, because they were using also the tank scenario, but that's actually an anime-only thing. A lot of the Kenshiro's most outrageous feats are anime-only stuff. So it was a little difficult for me to remember how strong Kenshiro is in terms of manga material.
Yeah.
And, people already brought up the whole, Raoh punched into the clouds back up. So
yeah, I mean, also
that, and we can assume that Kenshiro could do the same by that point, since, he's in with the whole Musou Tensei and all that.
Oh, but no, Musou Tensei wasn't used in this battle. It was Shadow Clone Jutsu.
Yeah. The way they use
you can't deny it.
Yeah, I know.
He did win the battle with just using Shadow Clone Jutsu. It wasn't Musou Tensei. He did probably meet Naruto back. Hey, I like your technique. Can you show me it again? Oh, cool.
Because there's a difference between what Kenshiro was doing in that fight, the Shadow Clones, and Mirages. Mirages should have been in the style of early Dragon Ball, where they're just an after image. They don't necessarily move around on their own and all that.
Yeah.
No, that was the problem that I had with the fight, because that's not how Mirages will work. I mean, there's no... He doesn't make clones out of ki energy or, Toki or whatever. They're just... There should be stationary, at least. Or... I say that, but then there's moments in other panels where you really don't know what's going on. Like the Fist of North Star 2 section where Kenshiro spins around and you see a bunch of Kens, like, punching the same guy multiple times in a circle. So, like, it's a cool panel, but... Explain what's going on there. I don't know what's going.
Musou Tensei can do whatever it wants. He
Yeah.
can call back the dead. He can call back a specific person. He can destroy things matter because it's the void basically, and it can make mirages.
Was the Kenshiro using like Shu's abilities? Was that a manga thing or was that an anime only?
No, it was a manga as well because Kenshiro lost his eyesight.
Yeah,
as well.
For a brief period of time. Well, then again, that also brings up the whole healing factor with Ken, because with Fist of North Star, it's all about how manly you are, and actually that's the main thing in general when it comes to these 80s shonen characters, that there's like an extra power that most shonen characters can't have anymore. It's called manliness. Crazy things happen. Yeah, because manliness, man, it's defies all logic, man. It counts as its own power up. It's like Kiniko Man's friendship power. That's his own, criteria of powers. Because
that's the most insane part, that Kenshiro never trains. He never trained. I mean, he never trained after he become the mastered. He just becomes powerful after each battle.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, nothing really makes sense in both cases, because, like, in Kenshiro's case, when he fought Shin, his hand got stabbed. Like, the 7 scars on his chest, those stayed, but the stabs on his hand just vanished. Meanwhile, the same thing goes with Jotaro. When he fight against Wheel of Fortune, he was freaking lit on fire, and he comes out of it like nothing happened.
Yeah, like, just to put the big difference between Jotaro and Kenshiro, basically just say this. When Jotaro needed to have comic books or magazine to protect himself when someone stabbed him.
Yeah.
Kenshiro, when he got nice on him, he just pushed him out. With muscle, just like... Bloop.
Yeah, because Kenshiro's... Because the main difference is that Kenshiro is clearly superhuman while Jotaro isn't. All the JoJo characters are supposed to stay human. The only ones that aren't would be the vampires and the pillarmen. Or the ones that turn into dinosaurs.
Yeah, even them, they got beaten by humans as well.
Yeah, they're still in a realm where they can still be killed down. In Fist of North Star's case, like, one of the biggest examples is Kenshiro has been stabbed multiple times, even by arrows. Like, one arrow he took to the heart. That's like very early. That would kill any other character. For Kenshiro, he just flexes it out.
I mean, it's even more insane part that even after, like, in Battle with Raoh, they said like his blood was boiling out and he got his bone crushed, and then it's just fine like 2 chapters afterwards.
Yeah, it's like they just heal. Like, the best example is when he was beaten by Souther.
Yeah, Souther, like, he was just dead at the point, but then I'm like, no, I'm just gonna hit. Oh, Shu, you are in danger. Let me come.
Yeah, it just flexes and he's fully healed already. So.
The best part must be when he fights Kaio. Like, there he gets murdered. Like, okay, in the manga he's like almost dead, but in the anime he's dead. He's confirmed dead. But then he just goes up and
he wakes up from the dead.
Stronger.
Yeah, because the reason why he keeps existing is that as long as evil exists, hurting the weak and the oppressed, that would gives him back up. I mean, his heartbeat was. His heart started beating the moment someone died. He started getting back up from the dead to bring justice.
Whenever you can have a problem with any shonen villain, just drop Kenshiro in there. He will manage.
Yeah.
He will, like, somehow come victorious, no matter how different in power they are. Kenshiro, you are so broken, but I still love you.
Yeah, because I mean, I think what determines the fight is Kenshiro's own origin, because Shin mentioned that a single stab of his finger is the equivalent of an execution.
Oh.
Like, that would have killed a normal man, so I'm kind of curious, like, how would any JoJo character, could they take more than one? or not, because Kenshiro, he took 7. And the last 3 were, and the last 4 or something were like all at once.
like, alright, Yura, do you love me?
Or better yet.
How about now?
That Shin, that's some weird way of, that's like Shin's equivalent to like taking the roses off of a flower. It's like, Yuria loves me, Yuria loves me not. Yuria loves me, Yuria loves me not. Yuria loves me.
Okay. We have established now that Kenshiro is a superhuman. He's beyond our comprehension of how the human body works at all.
Yeah, because I mean, even by Fist of North Star 2, like at that point, he starts fighting against characters that use key attacks. So it just and those attacks most attack like all the way to your atoms or molecules or something. So I'm like,
no, it was cellular. And
yeah. Oh, there you go. It's like even
that,
like it's like
no, you won't win. And then flexes them.
Yeah, you're not gonna win. It's like you're already dead. There's a reason I say that to people. But because in part 2, like I don't remember if it was like some sort of god of war or something, like that spirit that comes out of him, or the god of Hokuto. What was it exactly? I don't remember.
I think
the title.
Original Hokuto.
The original Hokuto.
Oh
man.
Yeah, so like the spirit of the original Hokuto comes out, and then that's sort of like his stand. And then what he would do is that it what didn't it just kill evil and like just by being around Kaio or something? Or,
yeah, it
sort of drained his energy, I think, because after a while, even a little pebble will knock him down.
Oh,
remember, this is the guy who beat Kenshiro at 100%.
Yeah.
So Kenshiro is below rock level, apparently.
Rocks. Maybe the rock is like the equivalent of the laser in the Resurrection F.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, because even later on when he's fighting Kaio, he has like the spirit of Raoh behind him, so like that was like his temporary stand ability. What's your ability? It kills things.
Yeah, I mean, if Jotaro is going near that thing, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Sorry, but he's doomed if he's not gonna time stop and get out of there.
Yeah, no, like that thing is bigger than Star Platinum.
It is much bigger.
Yeah, then also when he fought Hyo, like they both came out. I was like, oh shit.
I mean, there's a one manga panel where Hyo's aura is bigger than a town. Like, holy crap. Which makes me wonder why there's no like stand that is so big, like a building or something. I mean, why not have like a mech stand? Like a Mazinger Z or something.
I actually thought of that for an idea about like having like a stand that was like it's sort of a Power Rangers thing I was thinking about. Instead of like of the vehicle coming out of like somewhere, it just comes out of themselves. you know. That way they all each have one. But yeah. So yeah, Kenshiro is overpowered, and if. So we mentioned earlier about the whole Shu blindness is that Muso Tensei could also get the abilities of the previously departed. So with Shu, he was a blind master of the South Star, and when he was able to fight other characters, like he didn't use sound to detect them; he would use his own heart and soul. So theoretically, Kenshiro could use that as an alternative to locate Star Platinum. Or I also kind of felt that since whenever Ki is involved, I feel characters should be able to sense it. Like, if you were to take Jotaro into a Hunter x Hunter world, that would probably be like his Nen aura. So, I feel like Nen users should be able to see him. Or anyone that uses Ki.
If they can't see spiritual power, if they can't see a soul, then they can basically see Star Platinum, because Star Platinum is a manifestation of a person's soul. Or it could be even their spirit power. Yeah,
because I feel like since it also has that paranormal thing, I feel like someone from Yu Yu Hakusho or anything with ghost-related ability should be able to feel it or see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it should have, because even if it's just, I don't know, artificial energy, apparently, I mean, because people aren't normally born with stands, like Chi or the Force, the Midichlorians, but since, I think, since it is a representation of a person's spirit, they should, if they can see spirit clear as day, maybe in Bleach or something, they might as well see Star Platinum, because it's a representation of their spirits, so why not?
Yeah, because I feel like the paranormal stuff could definitely characters like that could do it, but I also do feel like a bunch of martial artists and like key users should be also to be able to like maybe not see it but at least feel it. And the big debate is about should Kenshiro be able to like hit Star Platinum or touch it, or because I personally I feel like they should, especially if they're like if they use ki that much. Like during the fight, he was doing like the Heaven's Impalement of the Big Dipper thing. I felt like that should have hurt Star Platinum,
but it didn't. I really respect your like view on this because for myself, I think I'm more like harsh to this. That only stand users can hurt stand, but that doesn't mean that person can hurt the stand user. I mean, for example, like Dio throwing knives at Jotaro, it would be totally pointless to throw just at Star Platinum if you can just tank it without doing anything.
Yeah, because
that's why you have to deflect them, because if the power is too fast or like too powerful, it would just go through Star Platinum and hit Jotaro instead.
Yeah. Because if that's like the ultimate weakness that every stand user has, they could still go after the user if you can't. Well, that's the reason why in a lot of JoJo fights against long range stands, they always go after the user, not the stand itself.
Yeah. So like, unless you have like okay, let's just wrap up a bit how you can attack Star Platinum or any stand, right? Unless you have like spiritual, you can attack someone with spiritually, mentally, or like how they breathe, or any like high third dimensional or even above fourth dimensional, 5-dimensional. You can hurt you can't hurt stands unless you have your own stand. So there's like many ifs. I still think that stands, when it's coming from different points of views, like people who can't see stands or can see them but cannot face them, is that they basically are like just a generated force that you can just launch at any time. Which makes that think that Kenshiro, after a while, after getting punched by Star Platinum, he will get the pattern from Jotaro and maybe even start surprising him, doing a surprise attack, because we have seen Kenshiro doing surprise attack even to characters who are faster than him, like with the first battle with Souther. Because in that battle, Souther just kept blitzing him, and then Kenshiro just figure out that maybe if he duck at the one moment, he can surprise him.
Yeah, because he's been like taught all his life how to fight against other like would-be assassins, and these are like generations of like of fighting styles. Because but immediately by part 2, Kenshiro's like abilities got like so ridiculous. Because even when he lost against Kyle, he was like kind of going like a Saint Seiya route by saying that he could like find out the weakness of every fighting style like after one match, you know. And then he just figures out like, how do I stop this Hokuto Ryuken like anti-gravity thing? Oh, I just spin around in midair. Like what? What does that even work? I don't know.
But it did work, man. I mean,
yeah, it worked, but I don't understand how. But he just could, and then especially
can. Please don't question him.
Yeah, actually,
or else you're already dead.
Because the other thing is that final karate chop move that he learns for like after interacting with the statue, which defeated Kyle. Do you think that would have worked against Jotaro? Like, let's say if he hits Jotaro with that karate chop, would it kind of like make his stand go away, or like would his stand go back inside?
Yes, I think that would make him go away, because Kenshiro probably hits a present point that he does not get to use the energy of stands, like, I don't know, maybe limiting his breath so that the stand gets weaker.
Yeah, because there is multiple ways Kenshiro can hurt Jotaro, even with the numerous amount of pressure points. Because I even thought that maybe there's a pressure point that Kenshiro could hit himself. That way he could see the stand. I don't know, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, pressure points are up in the air. They are not predefined.
Just
bring a new idea and we just make it.
Yeah, because that's why there's 708 points. There's 708 points, and we'll constantly learn something new every time. I mean, with especially, well, it's more greater if you take like Hokuto Ryuken, since that one has like over 1,000 points, I think, or something around that number.
I think Hokuto Ryuken should have like Ryuken because, reasons.
Yes, because even by that point, like one of Kyle's points that he hit on Ken was that on Lin was that this person will fall asleep, and the first person they see they'll fall in love with.
Yeah, I mean, it's just up in there. Like, it's invincible, man. It just...
I can do anything.
Point, like it's always been there.
Yeah, it's like there's always... well, that's why they left themselves open with having 708 points. So that way they can have any number of combos or attacks, formations. Because then it gets even worse how, even as early on in the series, like Kenshiro had the water reflection sphere, able to copy any attack that he's seen. So I don't know how would that work with stands.
I think he will probably, like, I don't know, copy, like, you can suddenly just key or some sort of punches coming out of, like, a different direction, like almost copying like how stand works, but not being stands at all.
Well, actually, you know what I just thought about? Because couldn't Kenshiro's own energy be a defense from the stand, like, you know, like kind of keep him at bay?
Yes, that is exactly what I thought. Now continue.
Yeah, because the reason I bring this up, because in Rei's first fight with Raoh, that's sort of what happened. The moment he approached Raoh, like, his own key energy was launching out all these multiple fists, and he couldn't get next to him.
Yeah, and this is a guy who is, I don't know, like, compared to Jagi, who tanked the nuke.
Yeah.
So how's Jotaro, even Star Platinum, even gonna be touching that? I mean, you can say, oh, maybe Jotaro wins if he does quickly things, but as the battle goes on, it will get more difficult to even touch Kenshiro, even coming near, because he's Toki, or not Toki that person, but Toki's aura.
Yeah. It's confusing.
Deadly.
Yeah, it's confusing to say it in sentences.
Because...
yeah, just say the fighting Toki, fighting aura, whatever. It's key. Yeah.
What was it now? Also, what I was going to mention. Yes, because some people have been saying that if Jotaro time stops and then crushes Kenshiro's heart, he might win, but I don't see Jotaro doing that as directly in the battle. He may be doing it a little later on if he really puts in a corner. But even then, Kenshiro is going to have his Toki up, and Star Platinum is going to have a hard time even coming close to his heart. I mean, with that so much density with the key.
Yeah, and then Kenshiro would simply reply, "There's only one person who could touch my heart, and it's for Yuria." Yeah, because this guy is fueled by love, man. You know, you don't fight, you can't beat love. He proves it. Yeah, because Kenshiro fully relishes in... he excels in pure 80s magic and power, you know, like powers of manliness and love.
Emotion is his power up, man.
Yeah. I mean, his own power, his best power comes from fucking, well, like even Musou Tensei, it's activated by love and sorrow, meaning, you know, the love of his life and all the death he experienced.
I mean,
everyone dies around me.
I mean, that's why they should make Hokuto no Ken 3, just to make Kenshiro just even more overpowered. Like, why not just stop with the humans? Let him go to outer space, kill aliens, just prove him that love is the best weapon at all.
Toshinkin is invincible. I will spread love all across the galaxies, the universe, and that is why it's called Fist of the North Star.
He's gonna fist. He's gonna go with fisting.
No. Like, well, what if every single star is like its own saint or deity, and he fights all seven? It becomes like Fist of the North Star becomes Saint Seiya. Like this.
No way, sir. You will get then we have Fist of the North Star 3, then 4. It basically just Kenshiro going to other series and just does stuff like Saint Seiya, like, oh, this, like they're having a triple battle. Then suddenly Kenshiro comes out of nowhere.
It's the man with the goth cloth. The divine goth cloth. Yeah.
No trading at all. Like, oh, we're gonna give you, like, oh, let's give you some cosmos. Then God clothes automatic. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, Kenshiro, like, in his own series, is basically the equivalent of the Grim Reaper of the equivalent of the Grim Reaper, Moses, and Jesus. So he's like this deity, pretty much. I mean, like, he's still human, but I kind of feel like if we see the series, like, up to, like, let's say until Ryu becomes, like, the new successor, if we ever see that I feel Kenshiro would kind of become, like, this death figure.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of see him transcend humanity and become, like, this Grim Reaper of the planet.
Yeah, people are pissing their pants when they even see him. So, just death of re-embodiment, like the god of death, as always said.
Yeah, I mean,
like, instead of Kenshiro killing humans, aliens, he's just suddenly gonna go like kill all the gods.
Battle of gods.
There can only be one.
Like inadvertently doing what the Raoh is supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that always kind of confused me. Like, I don't remember if it was a movie line or in the series as well. Because I remember Raoh was saying earlier they wanted to conquer the heavens, and I always kind of took that literally. Like, I thought he meant like there was some sort of higher plane of demons and angels that he had to fight, but no, he was just being very romantic about it, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, but maybe that's the next step. You never. Maybe there is another Fist of North Star story where Kenshiro fights in the underworld or something, and maybe they'll finally have that Devilman crossover.
Like, why not I know people are gonna love Raoh. I mean, they have Raoh's brother, Louis, who is looking exactly like Raoh. Just let's just make like the god look like Raoh. Like, just make him like. How ironic would that be? Like, the god is Raoh, basically. Kenshiro has to defeat him.
Like, I conquered the heavens.
I wasn't joking.
It turns out by killing me, Kenshiro, you allowed me to achieve my dreams. Oh god.
Oh jeez.
Well, you never know. Maybe we could have like a Devilman vs Hades story where Yuria's soul is taken away by a demon and Kenshiro has to like break it down. It'll be like the ultimate Saint Seiya Devilman crossover. Yeah, like Kenshiro meets like.
It would just be like.
Yeah, Kenshiro teams up with Ray, like Souther, Raoh, like Jagi, Toki, Ryuga, Juza, everyone makes like this team ring style into hell.
Okay.
To save the merciful Mother Star.
I love talking. I just love how we're talking about not DeathBattle. It makes me happy.
Yeah, we just I don't know. That's how good conversations start off when we're completely off topic.
I'm just gonna put like a title DeathBattle video.
Yeah, because plus off topic.
Plus off topic.
Because that always happens in our conversations. So it doesn't matter what clique we're in. Like when I talk to Falcon, when I talk to you, when I talk to like all the other guys of the Manly clique, or anyone, like it always goes off topic. But that's when the conversation truly starts.
Yeah. I mean, we have to get warm in the clothes. Like, yeah, let's talk about something recent. Then we just just getting on.
Yeah,
just getting on, talking about good ideas.
Because we start talking about our favorite things. That's why, and then it just keeps going and going and going and going.
I forgot that we have DeathBattle is a thing. I think I'm being blessed. I think this is the best part.
Yeah, let's shift a little bit to JoJo. Let's give Jotaro some love.
Yeah, let's give JoJo some love.
Yeah,
hey, David Production, announce part 5 yet, please.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised people are demanding part 5 now, since given its reputation, it's always been like a little bit iffy on the JoJo fandom.
Yeah, but don't worry, we still got Bruno in our man.
Yeah, Bruno's like. Well, I don't know. I'll still watch it. I still want to watch it anyways because I'm really hoping whenever part 5 happens that it's as action packed as I felt when I read it. I'm hoping those feelings are still there. But yeah, but then that also means we're getting closer to Stone Ocean, and then. But my only concern is really like how the art style is gonna be.
Yeah, it's surprising always shifting because.
Yeah.
So I mean, every time we first see the art, I was saying, "Nah, that won't work." Then I'm saying, "Yeah, I got the hang of it."
Yeah. Well,
then we just keep repeating this line.
Over again. Yeah. Well, then again, though, immediately when they released the designs for Part 4, Jotaro was actually way off model. He was so short. And then they...
oh, yeah. Remember the first image of Jotaro Part 4.
Yep.
So less details. So disappointment.
Well, then again, Part 4 surprised me because certain episodes, like, they gave Jotaro a lot of detail, like the rat episode. It's like out of nowhere the art style changed. It's like, whoa, why does it look so detailed? With thick outlines and everything. And then, well, that's one thing that kind of disappointed me with Part 4, but I understand why they did it, is that it just feels weird in the transition of David Productions artwork, is that in Part 1 and 2, it's like, yeah, we have a lot of art, a lot of color, and a lot of stylish designs, but very little mobility. And then in part 3 happens, like, okay, well, now we got, like, less colorful, but now we have a lot more detail and mobility. And then part 4 happens, now we have, like, a lot more color, less mobility, or, like, halfway and half the detail.
I mean, I still love JoJo anime. Like, even if I don't post most JoJo now, it doesn't mean I don't like it. I do still love it.
Yeah, because
still
I feel
in part 5. Yeah. Part 5 is still being out after, the soccer thing. Please, just announce that you are working on it afterwards.
Yeah.
People are dying.
Yeah, we'll probably get another teaser.
Yeah,
we'll probably
get after you not announce part 5.
Yeah, like...
How many blood have to be on stained, David Productions, until you're satisfied?
You know, I feel we're gonna get like a repeat of part 4 when the first trailer of Diamonds Unbreakable was just a damn title. So, yeah, I don't know if many people remember that, but yeah, the very first teaser of Diamond Unbreakable was just like a map and the title. That was it. So,
yeah, that was it.
Yeah, maybe part. And then the next major trailer was you actually did see characters and Josuke, break a wall. That was it. And then you get all the teaser of all the characters and silhouettes. So maybe part 5 will do the same, where we just see a flag of Italy, or maybe the statue of David, and then part 5 Ladybug.
Yeah, I mean, I always remember like when it did tease part 3, like.
Oh yeah!
Shit,
yeah. The first teaser of part 3 was fucking amazing. Well, besides the ending of part 2, where you see I kind of wish to see like how would part 3 would look. At least one episode of if David production kept the same art style.
Yeah, I mean, I seen fakes out, and I surprisingly thought that was good. But then when I compare it to what we got, I always said, the previous one sucked. I like this one now.
Yeah, well, I don't know, I still like the way. Well, at least in the at the end of the episode where there was a lot of shading and I don't know, there was sort of angular look to it. That's something I do like, but they definitely did a lot of different stuff with Stardust Crusaders, especially with their shoulders and waists. Because the waist would have like this C mark crescent moon thing on their stomach area, and obviously everyone started rocking those shoulders when it was just like a few characters in the manga, but yeah, everyone in the anime had those shoulders. I'm like, oh, okay, and then the detailed look on their faces was like, oh wow, that's awesome. But then part 4 happens, detail went away, that made me sad. And then where was I going with this? Something with the artwork about 1 and 3. The trailers, yeah. Because the teaser for part 3, it was like an epic thing. You actually saw Dio first, leading up to Jotaro showing off Star Platinum and then punching the shit out of the wall. Or does anyone remember the very first JoJo teaser, like the very first of the anime conversation?
Yeah, that one. It was like manga panels from part 7 then to then they just showed the animated one.
Yeah, it was 8 through 1 actually. It started off with JoJo Leon, and then it was counting down 8 through 1, and then you see Jonathan actually animated and then both. Yeah.
I remember that day. I mean, it was a great day. They announced like they both announced the anime and the game. I was like, well, that's sudden. I mean, we didn't have any JoJo content like in a long time. There's only 2 things, like 2 major ones as well.
Yeah, All-Star Battle in 2012.
Great summer day.
And then Devilman was like all a little bit of last year and all of this year for 2018 because of the manga releases. Because we got 3 Devilman manga coming out.
Yeah, I'm still gonna buy that manga, man. The original one.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, when the day come out, I'm just go to my bookstore, be the first in line, said, hey, I waited now many years done these speeches from Devilman Crybaby.
these
copy now. Half the price.
Yeah, like I know Devilman. I know what it is. It's that character from Dragon Ball. Yeah.
Like, oh no, you're not wrong, man. It's not from Dragon Ball. It's that rapper, man. Do you know the rapper? Yeah, because before, when you type in Devilman, you would just keep getting that rapper, or hopefully the Devilman you're looking for. but now, at this point, you should just like search for the Japanese like hiragana for Devilman. You will get a better result, sadly.
Yeah. So anyways, like I think we should try to wrap this up, at least recording wise, and we'll just talk more after it. So yeah, what are our thoughts? Kenshiro definitely won, but We thought the video could have been a lot better.
Yeah, we thought the character was... I think the characters should have acted more as themselves. They should have shown that both of them are smart, they can adapt to situation.
Jotaro didn't even pose.
Era change from a desert from like a city, where they can just play around with it. And just show that ability in a true wise. I mean, except for the different in strength, in speed, just have them like act themselves like a fan fiction would.
You know one thing I'm gonna hate if they do.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think so. But I'd be kind of pissed off if they did like a Jotaro Part 6 versus Fist of the North Star 2 Kenshiro. You know, something like that.
Why would they do that?
They did that with Goku and Superman.
Kenshiro Jotaro Part 3. I mean, we already got the first 1 minute melee, and now we're gonna have Part 2 with this, and then 3. I mean,
yeah, 4 versus 2, and then maybe 6 will be against Blue Sky.
And then we're gonna have like Part 7 with Jolene and Kasumi.
Yeah,
like just trash talking with each other.
Yeah, I guess that could probably happen with those two. Yeah, but anyways, I think we should probably stop recording now, and I guess I don't know what I ended off with. I feel like we should.
Our point.
I guess I feel we should be saying some. There should be a stronger way to end this, but I can't think of anything clever.
Hey, you wanna sing Hokuto no Ken theme?
Okay, which one?
You wanna sing I Mo Toemara?
I will Torimoto say. You are shocked. Oh wow, we did it on cue. Oh wow, we did on. Yeah, screw this. Hokuto ga Kotoko and Fist of Blue Sky Regenesis should be out by the time this video comes out.
Come out now. Come on, just watch the anime. Go get Amazon. Screw the Amazon. Go watch online. Non-pirated. Pirate away. And just thanks us and read the manga. And not read the manga. And just to support the series. Through illegal advice. Through DeathBattle. No. Do you want to add anything else?
If only there was a way I could combine two other quotes together, but I don't think there's any. Because Jotaro doesn't have one. Well,
yeah, he does.
Well, he has one, but only. He could have been his equivalent of "You're Already Dead" by saying like "I'll be the judge," but he only says it one time in the whole damn series. Like that should have been your quote.
Yare. Omae wa mou shinderu.
Yeah.
Just like Frankenstein them together.
Frankenstein. Like, give me a damn break.
Frankenstein.
Oh, here it is.
Let's have a battle with Frankenstein and Kenshiro.
Oh, no.
Then Kenshiro versus Vampire. Then Kenshiro versus God. Then Kenshiro versus you. Who will win? Will Anime Hero not win?
Oh god.
Will he win a manga? See you next time in Fist of a North Star Z.
Yeah, when Dragon Ball Super comes back from its hiatus. Good night, everybody.